look in the mirror and they're upset with where they are in life only because they think that they should be somewhere because they're a certain age or they haven't met this accomplishment yet as far as getting married or having a house or having the best car. Everybody's on that chase for those same things that you live your whole life chasing all of these things that you were told to chase. This is why I have like this whole Kanye shit is like with like all the things that I'm doing. Like say if this podcast take off or I'm getting into acting or I'm making music, right? My biggest fear is being famous. I do not want to be famous because it's so fucking hard to be famous and people act like it's so easy. People look at celebrities as if they're not humans, like they cannot make mistakes. Like as soon as something happens, they have to be demonized. And I think that it's not normal to be famous. People who are famous are fucked up because it's not normal. You don't have any peace. You don't have any. You can't even take a walk without somebody asking for a fucking picture. Like it's crazy. It is fucking crazy. Just imagine not being able to go to Walmart, get a thing of milk, and come home. Just imagine not being able to do that.
Imagine being like that at 4, at 5 years old. You speak about Mike, right? And shout out to Mike.
You speak up, son.
He's a GOAT. So Mike, he's a genius, Michael Jackson.
Right.
But he never lived a normal life. And he got called all the names in the book during his process of sharing his artistry. And I don't expect him to be normal when he is logical.
Mm.
He wasn't in an environment of a normal child, teenager, and adult. Since 5, like 4 or excuse me, like 6, 7. He was led.
Mm-hmm.
He can't go nowhere. He can't do nothing. He can't just hang out and be normal and chill out. But you expect him to act and walk normal when everybody can't do that.
But imagine being that famous and that rich and not being able to trust anybody that's around you. Mom, dad, cousin, uncle, best friend. Imagine not being able to trust anybody. Like he talked about in that interview, there's real things that they go through that will fuck you up. You are 1,000 miles away from your family, and your wife is being tied up, your daughter's being tied up, and they're being robbed. And everybody else, wipes it as it's a publicity stunt. They didn't really get robbed. But this the woman that he loves and his kids are being robbed and tied up, and you are helpless, can't do nothing about it. That is terrifying. He said he was laying on the hospital bed begging his friends not to leave the room because of his outspokenness and the shit that he said against the government. He feared that these doctors may kill me under the needle because I speak out against the government. These people might not like my opinions. So he begged his friends, don't leave this hospital room until my wife gets here. When my wife gets here, y'all can leave. But anything that they got to do to me, stay in the room with me. That is the craziest shit to be thinking about. Like begging your friends, like, do not leave this room. They might kill me in here. Because if they put me under and have to do surgery, they may kill me in here. His mother died during surgery. So what you think he feel like laying on a bed about to have surgery? These people might take me out too. People don't think about that. Jay-Z and Beyonce had to call the sheriff department, all that stuff, just to take a walk. Just to take a walk down the sidewalk.
Tie off some blocks.
Tie off some blocks, bro. Sharpshooters on the roof. Like, what are we doing? To take a walk.
Yes, that's the price. That's the price you pay for that
right,
life.
And that's the thing is that we take away their humanity. We take away their humanity because they're rich.
And they can't make mistakes.
Right. And that's why we have a reality star as a president, because we idolize celebrityness. We don't idolize the things that matter. We idolize, and when I say we, I really mean we. I'm talking about myself too. I idolize cars, money, shoes. I idolize these things, but these things don't matter. They don't matter.
It's true.
They don't matter. These niggas who wear, he also said in Charlamagne interview, he said he see people out and they wearing Gucci and Louis Vuitton. He said, I think when I see a person with a Gucci or Louis Vuitton shirt on, He said, the bigger the logo, the more insecure the person is. I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Don't forget to tuck your shirt and your pants so we can see your belt.
Right, that is a dope way to look at things, and it is true. When you see a nigga who got on a Gucci hat, Gucci shirt, Gucci pants, and Gucci shoes, what are you doing with your life?
And I'm glad you touched on that. This is about old Kanye versus new Kanye, right? We've had conversations. So with your boy, man, he falling off with the fashion and all that. Right. And people think like you can't dress no more. Right. But I felt like Kanye was like leaning towards, for one, being uninspired. When you reach the pinnacle, sometimes you become uninspired. Jordan eventually said, yeah, I'm out of here. I done did it all. I gotta retire. Right. So I felt like he was at that point, but also what you were saying with all these labels, if you notice, his clothing, it is no logos on his clothing. When the way he dresses now, he dresses, they say they want to humiliate him. He dressed like a fucking bum. Literally like a bum on the street. That's what you dress. But it was a different approach. I did the labels. Since I was the backpack, the Louis Vuitton, the polo, I did all that. Right. So now it's like, I don't need it. I'm going to strip myself to where I have a plain hoodie, plain shirt, plain tees, plain jeans. Everything's plain. I don't need logos because it doesn't define me. And his shit still sell out. So my thing is, I think that off of what you said, the bigger the logo, the more insecure you are. I think that's where he went to, where he changed from the Kanye, which is super high fashion, to super low fashion, because he was attempting to reinvent something, but also speak to where you don't really need all that. And he has impacted the culture fashionably to where it's more so relaxed. You see a lot more hoodies, a lot more sweats, a lot more flannels, and shit like that. So I feel like he does a lot of shit that he doesn't. They don't shine the light on those efforts that he makes and those credits. Just the negative.
The higher consciousness. They don't promote higher consciousness. Nothing promotes higher consciousness. Nothing promotes higher consciousness. Everything is surface level. Nobody wants to think beyond the surface. The surface is heard, and we're gonna run with the surface. But nobody wants to take a deeper look into things, a deeper approach. Yeah. Somebody sees something on Instagram, they don't go do a Google before they repost it. Whether it's true or not, they don't go do a Google and understand what they're posting is true. Because somebody said today, like I posted the Harriet Tubman quote where it said, "I freed 1,000 slaves, but I could have freed 1,000 more if they knew they were slaves." So some people came under the post and said, "Yo, Harriet Tubman never said that." So then I started doing my research, because I've heard that Harriet Tubman quote for years. So I started to do my searches, and when I was doing my searches, I kept seeing things where they said she did say it, and then I saw things where it said she didn't say it. So then I'm looking at the websites and what are the websites, and now I'm lost, because everything that I'm reading is what somebody else is saying. So I may go to CNN, I see that CNN logo, and because it's CNN and we automatically supposed to respect CNN, I said, oh, this is official because it's CNN. But at the end of the day, CNN doesn't take an oath to tell me the truth. So at the end of the day, whether she said it or not, the message is still there. And I made the same reference with Killmonger when people were talking about a choice, right? In Black Panther, when Black Panther offered Killmonger to stay alive, but he was going to be in prison. He killed mad people. He's wilding out. He's going to prison. He's not going to be like just a dude hanging out. Like, you're cool with us, dude. Like, nah, you're going to jail now. Right. So he's saying, no, throw me in the ocean with the people who were willing to sacrifice death than bondage. He is talking about where people had a choice. There were people who jumped off of those slave ships into the ocean to death because they did not want to be bondage and go to what they saw what was coming. They jumped off the boat to sharks and other sea creatures and getting eaten alive. They rather have that. So to act like people were completely helpless, like I even did my searches, and even when I was Googling this, I just wondered, like, how many slaves was to one, what's the name?
Yeah.
And how many people was, keeping the slaves in control, right?
Managers and reps.
Right. So when I looked at it, it said on the average of 5 to 7 people would run a whole thing with like 200 slaves. So when I look at those numbers, right? 200 verse 7. And yeah, they got guns, but it's still 200 verse 7.
So they would argue, for one, it was mental fear. Like mentally, water's hot. You don't touch water.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally, that's where one would argue that's where they are. They don't read.
Mm-hmm.
The intellect level is super low, and then fear is instilled.
Mm-hmm.
So I see my brother and my sister rebels.
Mm-hmm.
They get murked out,
Mm-hmm.
dead. That implements fear, and so that's why. So one would argue that's why.
Well,
that's all they knew.
See,
so that's what. So they.
I will say that because I cannot be like unsensitive and not think about the things that they went through mentally, like actually seeing a man hung from a tree with his balls cut off right in front of you. That's fucking shocking. I understand that, but at a certain time, I like going back to how Kanye was saying the 400. Like we keep singing the song of oppression. We've sung it in every key, A flat, B, C sharp. We've sung the whole fucking song, but nothing is changing. So because Kanye comes and offers a new idea, we attack him. But why are we attacking him? Because our way that we're doing it right now is already working? No, it's not. So why do we attack somebody who's going against what we're doing as if what we're doing is working?
It's easy. It's harder to accept an open-minded concept or something that seems impossible. It's easier to accept what's in front of you and what you know for sure versus being optimistic about, well, yeah, what if? Nah.
But I have a hard time with that too because when it comes to God and Jesus, we don't believe that's not right there in front of us and we have the proof and we choose to believe that and be optimistic about that.
Choice.
Right. Choices.
So I agree. I understand what he meant. My take on the Kanye TMZ thing specifically is that he meant well. Let's grow. Let's levitate. Let's elevate. Next level. Let's go past it. I think that's what his intent was. Or also his intent could have been, well, 400 years, right? If we go back and think about those times, there were individuals that actually stood up. And we're not even going to talk about Huey P. When, and get into all those details about fighting back, because one would argue there's different times, different knowledge, different access, different tools. But Harriet, not even just Harriet, what's his name? I can't think of it right now. Nat Turner. They were slaves, and I believe that they're not like superhuman, but they might have been open thinkers. And they might say, well, we gotta figure something out, bro. There's different options out here. To this day, it's hard to get everybody on board. It's not, and I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's not the easiest to get everybody on board on the concept in our culture if it's outside of the norm.
See, and the reason I think the slaves back then, they did get to a point where they were tired, right? But they was willing to die for it, right?
Dedication.
In today's time, nobody's willing to die for it. Even myself. Like, literally, there could be change if the slave to the dollar wasn't present, right? Let's say, okay, these fucking cops is shooting up everything, right? We're sick of this shit. We're sick of this oppression. All NBA players, we sitting out the whole season till y'all change some shit.
No chance.
All NFL players, we sitting out a whole season till y'all fix this shit. No chance. It won't happen because of the slave to the dollar bill. Nobody wants to miss work to go protest. No, and I wouldn't even say like the marches and stuff. That stuff is cool. It brings awareness, but it rarely gets shit done, right? Like with Meek Mill, how many marches and shit did they do? But it took them NFL owners to show up, the mayor to show up, the Philadelphia 76ers to show up. When those people started talking, a different type of attention was coming around. So if we start to hurt, if the power is the money and everybody wants the money, right? If we hold the biggest spending power in the United States, and this is a capitalist country and everything is about the money, who is the motherfucker sitting down coming up with the plan to where we can take our shit back through this money shit? If we have the highest buying power, we spend the most, we're the brokest and spend the most money. Every fucking commercial that comes on TV is hip hop based. Why is that? Because of us. It's us. We are what's lit. We make things hot. We make the fashion. We make the music. We are what's lit. When are we going to take our power and use it for something to make a change?
I feel like we need to, like you're saying, just what you're doing right now is we need to hold ourselves accountable. Not just yay, but be more consistent about our approach. So the biggest issue is him not being an advocate for the culture.
Right.
Let's all be an advocate for the culture. Not just Ye. Same people talking shit about Ye not being an advocate for the culture. They're not all, but there's a lot of individuals that are not advocates for the culture either.
Right.
So are you different than Ye? Are you at a higher pedestal? Are you God level to where you can talk down on him? Because he's just human too. So my thing is, if we're gonna do that, hold your mom accountable, hold your sister, hold your husband, hold yourself accountable for being an advocate for the culture, supporting the businesses, reposting your friends' businesses, doing these things. Not just tearing them down when it's not good, but lifting them up too. Right. If you're gonna do one, do the other. I see a lot of the negative options. Right. That's why when, like, for example, when I post my reviews, because you know I'm a foodie and I'm a chef, so when I post my reviews, if I get something that I really like and it's awesome, I gotta post it. I gotta go on Google and I gotta leave a review because I can't just do one and not do the other. It's not fair. So when we tearing down Ye for not being an advocate for the culture, let's make sure we uplifting our sisters and brothers the same way that you believe Ye should be doing on his platform. You got a platform too. When you talking about these niggas ain't shit, these females ain't shit, you referring to these females as bitches, you dogging out your baby mom, posting her videos on the social media, degrading her. When you fucking multiple women and you're doing all that out here, and vice versa, when you breaking up a marriage because you fucking that married man, you don't care because you don't know that female. That's all
accountability,
but that's all being advocate for us because it's tearing us apart. So it's bigger than Ye. So if you are as adamant about Ye's advocacy for us as a culture, about your life for real, we'd be further.
Right.
That's how I feel.
That's deep. That is deep. We don't hold each other accountable. I was telling somebody earlier, you know, we choose to ignore context even though it explains exactly what's being said. And people are not stupid, but people are stupid. But people choose to ignore things that would disprove their point because it doesn't allow them to continue their rant of anger.
I've been there before.
it's like everybody in the fucking world knows that Kanye did not mean slavery was a choice. You have to know that. If you know anything about Kanye West, you know that he does not think that slavery was a damn choice. Any common knowledge, like they automatically say, oh, he's crazy, he's lost his mind, he's bipolar, he's on all these drugs, like that. Like you come up with, like you turn into a doctor. Now you can diagnose what's going on with Kanye from a 30-second clip.
But we can't diagnose ourselves.
It's easy to judge somebody else. It's easy to jump to conclusions based off your own securities and your own weak-minded and not open-minded self. A lot of times people cast their insecurities on you. They want you to be, oh, you shouldn't do this because I think you shouldn't do it. But who the fuck are you? And why do you feel like you can tell me what I can say when I can say it? Because you bought my album? No, nigga, I'm still a human being. I'm still allowed to have individual thought, whether you agree or disagree. It's the problem is that it's us versus y'all. And everything that we do is us versus them, us versus them, us versus them, us versus us. Like, everything is not verse. Martin Luther King was a Republican. Ding, ding, ding. Anybody know that? Nah, because you niggas just know Martin Luther King and he fought for us. He was a Republican. And the reason you don't know that because people think that Republicans are white and Democrats are black. And what it is Republicans do less for blacks, Democrats do more for blacks. So we side with the Democrats. They get our vote automatically. But what it really is the Republicans do 10% for the black community and the Democrats do 20%. So we ride with the 20. It don't mean that they for us. Half people don't even have a clue why they vote for people. They base it off of the campaign, the media, the media, what the media tells you to do.
I'm not getting into that.
It's sickening sometimes that people can't understand what's going on and the road that we're heading down. We're heading down a crazy path. It's heading the wrong way. It's heading toward like anarchy. It's heading that way. It's heading that way. And the bigger thing about it is these white kids is growing up in these schools shooting people, and they still ain't changing nothing. That's a bigger thing. Okay, you killing the blacks, the cops killing the blacks. Y'all ain't changing. Y'all ain't making no gun laws. Y'all ain't changing shit. We understand that. Cool, right? We hate it. We fucking disagree with it, but we've been oppressed this long. What can we change, right? But y'all ain't even changing shit for the white people either. The white kids come in and shoot up the school and kill other white kids, and we still not changing nothing?
It's not designed for us.
But is it designed for anybody at that point? All of this?
It's designed for revenue.
And that's what people got to understand. That's what people got to understand. It's not the blacks versus the white. It's not the Mexicans versus the white. It's not the Asians versus the white. It's not the blacks versus the blacks. It's the rich versus the poor. If you don't understand what a capitalist country is, sit down, do your Googles, and talk amongst your friends.
But I would say what I see is different in culture, for our culture, compared to the others, is the unity and sticking together, and discipline. It's instilled in the other cultures differently than in our culture, I believe, and that's what helps with the success of the Jewish community, the Arabic community, the Asian community, and the white community. It's a little different for their culture, how they band together.
Do you not to cut you off, but do you have an idea of why those other cultures can come to America and prosper? And we can't figure it out. We can't get it together. Do you understand why? how like an Arabian can just come and get 7 stores and not being from this country and come and prosper. The Asians come here and build communities and stores. And do you understand why it is?
It's systematic oppression and the way the system. I think everything runs back to the system and how it's designed a certain way, how things have been programmed, and not for everybody, because we have a lot of people that our culture that do stick together, that are successful, that get it done. I'm just speaking over like the masses, and statistics, that which are real. But at the end of the day, for me, it's about from yay to racism to politics to whatever. It's about what your beliefs are, your morals are, and how you view and your choices, how you view things, your choices.
Experience.
One would argue that we're being attacked. At one point in the past with the Clinton era and everybody being locked up and whatnot, our people. It's true.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's good.
It's another view. It's choices. No matter how hard it gets, you got a choice. You want to go and get those 8 balls, and you want to turn them 8 balls into deuces, and you want to turn them into kilos, and you want to be a drug dealer. It's a choice. You can decide, just like even you look at Jay-Z. He had a choice. He decided that, all right, this is what it is, but I'm gonna have to go this way if I want to elevate.
He actually didn't have a choice. He got lucky.
So it's sheer luck?
Oh, pure luck. So look, this what happened. So this is why Emery went to jail. What happened was Hovind was still selling dope, but he had started rapping, but he was still in the streets. And what happened was they went to London to shoot a video. And when they went to London to shoot a video, the cops did a raid on where they all would have been. And to take
so you're talking about Pusha T on that track with he's talking about the Benz and
yeah. And Emery got caught, and they tried to press Emery to snitch.
Right.
So Ho stayed in London for a while till it like cooled down. Emery didn't snitch. Emery took the charge, and so then that's when he was out. But it was pure luck.
Is it not still a choice?
I mean, he was still in it. Emery just didn't snitch.
I'm just saying, he walked away from the drug game.
Oh yeah, at that point, I mean, he had no choice. It was hot. You still trying to sell dope.
My nigga, I know niggas that go back when it's hot because they feel they don't have a choice, and that's what they gotta do. But ultimately,
was they selling the kind of dope Hovind was selling?
I don't know what kind of dope Hovind was selling, but I know what kind of dope he was selling, and it was a lot.
It was selling big dope.
And I know that it also gets addictive.
Yeah.
And the right but at the end of the day, it's all about your beliefs, your actions, and your choices.
Bringing it back to the question I was asking though is that, I feel like the reason that other cultures come to America and they win because they don't have the distractions. In other countries they're not built on popularity.
Discipline.
Yeah, they have discipline and they understand what America is and they come exactly for that goal and they follow through with it. Black people we're so distracted with so many different things, whether it's warranted or unwarranted, whether we did it or it was put on us. Those distractions are just forced, and we're behind the 8 ball because of the upbringing. It's just is
from the root.
Yeah,
the root from the root. What's grown from the root, and it's not everybody. I can't say it's everybody, because some people in the culture are brought up, and they're a product of their environment as well, and that's successful too. But from what we see from where I'm from, the norm, it is like that. And like you say, when you look at the other cultures, from day one, it's certain structure and design that they follow for their beliefs, what they believe in, and their choices of how they want to move forward. So that's why I say it's all about beliefs what you believe in and how you choose to move.
Right.
At the end of the day,
The Asians come to America and they'll get one apartment and put 9 people in it, and all 9 people in that house will work at the restaurant that they got.
Everybody on one accord. I look at those. I look at the Arabic fellows downtown at the halal spot with the truck. 6, 7 brothers in that little trailer moving the halal food every night, 4 o'clock in the morning. One band, one sound. We got one goal in mind. If we could band together like that too, it'd be the same thing. You don't really see a lot of them tearing each other down on social media when they make choices, even when the choices is wild. You don't really see them OD on social media. Oh yeah, they bugging over there. I don't know. Them ain't my people. You gotta get out. You don't really see a lot of that. So it's like they're on one accord, and I think when they see something that they don't really agree with, they're kind of just like.
Right. It's like if 5 single men get a 5-bedroom house, split the rent, and they all go in business together and start a business. I asked this question on social media, which is with social media, it's the people, but you take it with a grain of salt on who's really responding and who's not. But I said, if 5 single men with no kids got a 5-bedroom house together and started a business with the money that they saved, would somebody look at that as these niggas stay in the house together? Or would somebody look at that, damn, they smart in our culture? Would they be like, these bum ass niggas staying and 5 niggas staying together? Or would they look at it as like, damn, them niggas smart? 5 bedrooms. Even to say it's not a 5-bedroom, say it's a 3-bedroom, it's still 5 niggas. And with the money that they saving, they opening a business, starting a business. It's funny now. Until 7 years down the line, 5 years down the line, they lit. And he was like, damn, me and my homegirl should have did that. Me and my homie should have did that.
Too worried about
Perception. Everybody's so worried about perception. Nobody posts who they with. Why? Perception.
Yeah, I think Ye is detached at this point from worrying about perception, and I think that it's gonna open up other doors. Like for him even be that vulnerable to speak about having liposuction because of his past insecurities of immediately they ready to tear him down on saying, oh, you such a free thinker and da. Why you care about what other people think and you get liposuction? But didn't take the time to understand that he was actually speaking from a place of where he was at that time, which is different than now. And also just generally speaking about how people can tear you down and affect you to where you go do things to yourself and to your body, correct, which is a real thing.
Correct.
That's where my mind went when I saw him talking like that, not saying he cared about what people think. That's argumentative. That's what you want to do for confrontation, to tear him down, versus saying he's speaking about a lot of people that have issues where they're worried about perception of what people say, and they go do stuff to their body.
Right.
And not always enhancements.
Right.
Cut yourself because of certain situations. Somebody says something to you, or that can even tap into suicide. That's a different type of conversation.
Right, because it's Kanye, and Kanye saying he's getting liposuction, it's like the worst fucking thing in the world. But a lot of these broke females, if they could afford to go get liposuction, they would be in there getting liposuction. It's real talk. It's like people like to judge other people, but when you take that same logic and apply it to yourself,
accountability,
you disagree with it. How many of y'all don't really look like how you look? How many dudes is flexing with money that they don't really got? Because they're worried about perception. He's just famous and dealing with perception. That's even crazier. That'll make you even crazier. You know what it is to go outside the house, and every time you go outside the house, somebody is judging you from head to toe what you got on. Come on, man. How many people, how many of y'all could take that every day? And they say, because, oh, you got money, this is what you signed up for. Nobody knows what that is until you're there. Even me sitting here talking about it, I understand it, but I don't really know what it is until I'm there. And I understand how crazy that could be to just have the world judging everything you do. You walk out the house, they judging what you got on. That will drive a person crazy. So have a little compassion about where he's at. And what it comes from is, you rich, we ain't, shut up. What are you complaining for? You're rich.
That's sort of what the homie was saying in an indirect way on TMZ. Like, you're living your life, you're making your music, you're dropping your albums. That's basically what he was saying, is you're not really out here in the real world.
Right.
Well, that's his perception of what the real world is.
Right.
What if Ye's world is a realer world? You never experienced that type of world to live in. How can you say your world is realer than his?
Right.
You never lived that. It might be better in this world than being famous.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's different perspectives and...
Bruh, all of the time, celebrities tell us every day how horrible it is to be a celebrity. Whether directly or indirectly, celebrities tell us every day how horrible it is to be a celebrity. But yet we're all trying to be celebrities. And they try not to be celebrities. They wish they could go back. J. Cole talk about all the time. I think it was better when I was broke. Because you could write a tweet and people are not dissecting it word for word. You can go outside and not have to deal with people in your face. Just imagine the anxiety, bro, of saying, we'll use Kanye because that's what we're talking about, right? The people coming up to you, you have no idea their intentions. You don't know if they're fans. This is somebody crazy who don't really like me, or somebody who's trying to play to get close to me. Like, just imagine having all those thoughts as people who, and it may be just a crowd full of fans.
Daily.
Every day. It may just be a crowd full of fans. When you looking at them and your mind is all over the place, you don't know, do I dap people up? Like, do I, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a crazy mindset to have to deal with daily. That's not fun. That's why I'm terrified of being famous. I want to be known. I want to be respected. I want to do the things that I love to do, but I am terrified of being famous because it's like just dissecting everything that you do, anything that you say, any move that you make is just dissected. And I feel like that would be exhausting because I'm so outspoken that I would feel like I would have to mute myself, basically. I would not be able to say anything.
You're not normal anymore. The normalness is over. It goes away. You take Robin Williams, he's one of my favorite comedians, and you would just think that he's good. Like, when that shit happened and he offed himself, like, you don't know what people be going through. Right. And people are very insensitive, to people's situations, but he was a very, very successful actor, comedian, legendary. Was unhappy with his life. Right. And very rich. And gone.
Killed himself.
Right, gone. So, like, you just never, that life, you never know. It ain't just, you don't got no worries because you got bread. So, stop complaining. But
right.
It should be different on the other. It's a different world. It's a different world that people like myself, I ain't rich and famous, so I ain't tapped into that world. So I can't make no really.
It's the money, because money is the goal. That's what everybody's chasing, is the check. So they feel like they already got the check, so you good. But do you understand what it feels like to be around people and you don't trust nobody? And it's everybody around you. It could be your wife, it could be your mom, it could be your dad. Because money changes the people around you.
You get paranoid.
You get, he probably got chronic paranoia. Chronic paranoia. You can't trust nobody. Let's just imagine, it's hard enough finding love being regular niggas. Now imagine trying to find love and you rich. You don't know who is there for you or for some ass shots. What they there for? A new car. And they gonna play the role so good because they don't know what they don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's a spooky thing. It's a spooky thing. And I think people, I would love to be rich and not famous. That would just go on vacations and none of it makes TMZ.
It happens. It's possible.
It is possible. It's definitely possible.
It happens.
But in the field that I want to be in, it's not. I don't feel like it is possible. There are successful podcasters and actors and stuff who are not on TMZ every day. But I just feel like how I am and how my mouth is set up, Just TMZ.
I
pop
never
out on
seen
me.
old boy before in my life and know who he was. Apparently, he's a popular guy.
Who?
The dude that was arguing with Kanye. I went on his social media, got a whole podcast, and that
Oh,
explains
yeah.
why he was super eloquent.
Well, he's been a regular on TMZ the whole show.
I don't really follow. I don't really watch TV too much, bro. I don't really. I feel that stuff. It's so much. You gotta diet. You know what I'm saying? You just like too much of anything is detrimental. You know what I mean? So I try to.
TMZ is basically like Sports Center for.
No, I know what TMZ is. I know what TMZ is, but I know TMZ is normally they don't. From what I see, they're not known for posting highlights of great moments.
No, not at all.
So I'm like, I choose to let that into my energy or
Right.
not. I don't watch the news because all the time, for one, it doesn't seem like it's factual, and all the time it doesn't seem like it's positive, and so I don't want to let that into my spirit all the time. So I pick and choose what I wanna watch and what I want to see. So I don't really, watch.
It's a form of control as well.
Yeah.
I don't really watch I control what I watch. I watch YouTube and I watch Netflix. It's funny to me. Like, I just look at things differently. Like, I was watching TV the other day and I seen the goddamn Exxon Mobil, right, commercial. It's all black people in the Exxon Mobil commercial, and I was like, bro, they're reaching. Like, what's going on? Like, it's like over the top. Every commercial is hip hop based, whether it's the progressive with the other lady or
We the wave, man.
we are the wave.
A lot of us don't know we the wave. But we been the wave. Though.
How can we watch that and not know that we're the wave and not understand that we have the power? We make this motherfucker turn, whether it's monetarily, whether it's visually, whether it's entertainment. We make this shit pop.
And that channels back into what the intent behind Ye's message is, which is free thinking and to dissipate mental imprisonment.
Right.
That's what it boils down to.
Really?
To not know is because it goes back to all those years, what was implemented into the mind of you can't do that.
Right.
You can't do that. Even when you go see the kids. When I'm talking to kids or my kids, I'm like, do what you want to do. That's not too much. Go ahead. You want to wear a wig to school? I'm with it. You know what I mean? Do your own thing. My daughter, she want to wear the little wigs to school. That's her expression of her art. That's what she want to do. You gotta harness it to a certain extent, but I'm a little wild, so I'll be with it. You know what I mean? So, but there's also a certain extent, but that's her form of expression. If she want to walk around the crib with crazy glasses on, she ain't weird. Like, what's wrong? Some parents are like, go take that off. What's wrong with you? Nah, you can't, because that's you starting from the beginning to implement that mental imprisonment that you can't be free to express how you feel, and then you take that into the example and you look at Willow and Jaden. They tear them down. They used to. I don't know if they still do. But when Willow, she was weird, called her ugly, blah, 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 tore her down. She's super talented. And you look at Jaden, who's super talented, but they're free and they come from parents who are free. You hear so-and-so about Jaden and Will, they're free and they implement that freedom on their kids. And now look how successful they are. Jaden's album is cracked. And he's free, but they tore him down when he was talking about free thinking and the I don't really now I can't say I agree or disagree with his choice of fashion to what he wants to do. I don't know really about all the dress shit. If that's what he want to do, that's what he want to do. I'm indifferent. My thing is he's free for what he wants to do, and that goes back to what Ye's trying to do right now, to think freely, and that's perfect examples of a family that I believe are free. They're free thinkers, and it's just what they're producing in the soil is growing, and their kids are successful, and they were successful.
I definitely respect that approach too, coming from a family where I remember when I graduated college, my dad used to say, get you a job and stay there for 20 years so you can retire. And that has always stuck with me. It was like, Not follow your dreams, not chase your dreams. Not you can be whatever you want to be, but get you a job and stay there for 20 years so you can settle down and retire. And I'm like, what? Why? No, that's not what I want to do. And I respect Will and them for letting their children think like that. Like even when he was talking about wearing dresses, right? You know, in our minds we like, yo, we can't. This nigga's in a dress, but you can't do that. But if you look at in the Bible, them niggas had on dresses.
It,
They had on dresses. It was a hole in the neck, sleeves, and it went all the way down to your ankles. It wasn't pants. It wasn't wearing pants. Jesus was wearing dresses. So you want to call it a robe? It's a full dress that wasn't fitted.
they fried Ye when he wore the kilt.
Because it's different. They demonize anything that's different.
But they eventually they was with it.
But it's a whole country that wears kilts.
Right.
And the country and where the man wears the quilts, they're the toughest. They will come over here and whoop these Americans' ass in a fist fight. It's a whole country that wears kilts. Scottish men will come over here and fuck up these motherfuckers over here. Bare knuckles.
Right.
We just choose to marginalize our thought. If it's too far stretched, if it's too far out of bounds, it's like people was literally saying, nigga, think about what you're saying. Say what we want you to say. And if you're going to say something that we don't like, say it in a way that makes us feel good. And this is black people telling another black man to do that. Not realizing you're asking him to do the same thing that Whitey's asking you to do. Sit down, behave, and say what we want you to say when we want you to say it. And if you disagree, you better say it in a way that makes us feel good. If not, then shut the hell up till you got something to say that we want to hear.
It goes back to racism, man. And we're so, we're very opposed to racism, which is not cool. But we're not as opposed to racism when we're the ones that's giving the racism, because it goes both ways. It's not just racism against blacks. It's not the same level, but we can be racist too. We can say racial things, and people feel like we get a pass. Oh yeah, we get a pass because we're old from slavery, so I can call you I was gonna say a racial slur, but I can call you a racial slur, and you just gotta deal with it. I can say it. You can't say it, but I can say it. I think that's idiotic. If you are against racism, you're against racism. You're not just against one-sided racism. That's dumb. So if you really don't rock with racism, you wouldn't be white people this or you wouldn't be doing all that if you are really for not being racist. You for it all the way. You can't be lukewarm. You hot or cold. Right. Gotta pick a side, man. Right. I think that was Drake.
Pick a side. Nah, that's dead ass. You can't, and that's what people do. It's like they'll apply logic to other people, but then when you take that same logic and apply it to yourself, oh no, not me. We ain't talking about me. We talking about Kanye. But when you take that same logic and apply it to your life, some things don't make sense about what you're doing too. So let's look in the mirror before we can just tear down somebody else for just giving a thought. And let's not run to being offended. Like I said, I don't agree with Kanye's delivery, but I know how to listen past disagreement. I said this the other day. If you only follow people who agree with you, you will drown in your own bias. You need to listen to what other people are saying so you can form a whole opinion. It's two sides to every story. It's actually three. It's your side, their side, and the truth. People have to stop running to be offended and crawling towards a solution. Don't run to be offended and then crawl towards a solution. We can sit and complain all day, this Kanye shit will fade away and we'll go back to being oppressed and being okay with it and not getting paid enough and on the fucking treadmill and just doing the same shit we've been doing the last 400 years with no change until somebody else gets killed and then we want to talk about it for 3 weeks. And then we go right back to being oppressed. And then somebody happens at Starbucks and we talk about that for 2 weeks and then we go back to being oppressed. Kanye is saying, he said the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result. So if we're doing the hate, fuck Donald Trump, he sucks, if we keep doing that, that's not going to get anything done. T.I. said in the interview today, he said we need somebody sitting at the table with them. And we don't need the smooth motherfucker to go over there and sit at the table with them. We need the out of line, say exactly what's on your mind person sitting at the table with them. We need that person to go over there and sit with Trump and them and say whatever he's thinking, not be filtered, not get the tools from them and then only come back and share a little bit of the tools with us. Now we need the person, like Jay-Z said. Kanye is the person. We the cowboys. Kanye is the person who run over the hill by himself and get shot with a whole bunch of arrows, right? And he come back over the hill and say, yo, there's a lot of Indians over there. And then we all team up, figure it out, and then we all go over there and conquer. He said that's who Kanye is. Kanye is that person who's gonna run over the hill and take all the arrows first.
Facts.
That's what he's doing right now. He's taking all of the arrows. Look, I'll say this wild shit. I'll wear this hat if it's gonna get people to do what we're doing right now. Have the conversation, have the dialogue, sit with your families and talk, sit with your friends and talk. I've had this conversation with the age range of 70s down to like 14. I've had this conversation with that age range of people. And now I'm sitting with you, we having this conversation. Then people are gonna watch this and they're gonna have the conversation. All because of Kanye. Whether you agree or disagree, you're having the dialogue. And that is what matters, the dialogue. People need to talk. People need to figure things out. People need to express what's going on. Say how you feel. Everybody say how you feel. Whether you agree or disagree, but be able to listen past disagreement. That's the only way you can hear the other side, because whether y'all believe it or not, it's going to take all of us for shit to change. Black folks can't stand over here and gather up and do it on their own. We don't have the resources. So we got to team up with them in order for all of this shit to change. That is why he's saying lead with love. Because long as we stand over here throwing rocks at them, they stand over there throwing rocks at us, what's going to happen? Nothing. And they got the bigger rocks.
They got more rocks.
Bigger and more rocks. They got way more rocks.
Stay rocks.
It's we throwing they rocks.
We could change the narrative, and I'm eager to see how it all plays out.
We gotta wrap it up, bro. We've been talking for.
I'm done. I'm done. I said my piece, man. My piece is it boils down to beliefs, actions, choices, and how you want to look at things. Optimism, and I choose to be positive. You got a choice, and that goes back to choices too. Optimism is a choice. You don't gotta be optimistic about things, but that's on you. I'm trying this new approach because it's gonna be better on my energy and my spirit. That's it.
Yeah. Just to wrap it up, man. I challenge people to be objective, man. I know exactly how people feel. I know because I understand that some people are closed-minded. Whether they trying to be closed-minded or just systematically closed-minded, I understand that people are closed-minded. So I understand the offense that can be taken from what Kanye is saying. But in the same breath, you also have to look at the source that you're getting information from. You have to understand that as well. If Kanye is an erratic person who has trouble with delivery, and he's had a career of having trouble with delivery, you have to also analyze that he has also had trouble with delivery, but he's also said some shit like, yeah, this is the motherfucker who was on live television in front of 15 million people, said that our current president doesn't care about black people on live television. This is that same person that had us in the club singing Jesus Walks with liquor in our hand. Some of y'all had blunts. I wasn't smoking at that time, but some of y'all had blunts. Standing on the couches, singing Jesus Walks. This is that same person. This is the same person who went to 808s and Heartbreak and changed the whole sound of the whole sound of music.
Which is a classic, by the way.
You don't got too many that's not classics. When I asked the question, who has a better first 4 albums than Kendrick Lamar? Kanye is the only person that could be in the conversation. Nobody else has a better first album. A lot of people said DMX. I went back and listened to all 4. I didn't have that feeling. I didn't have that feeling like, damn, there's a couple of them that I could have did without. But just saying, Kanye is a genius, and most geniuses don't have it together. A lot of geniuses are off. So you got to analyze the source that you're getting it from. You can't just jump to a conclusion, because you can't add, and a lot of people are adding their own narrative to what's being said instead of taking the words that's being said and allowing yourself to be optimistic and objective. But yeah, we could go on about this another 2 hours, but don't have no music this week. Like I said, I'm not getting my shit snatched down. I went through that one time. I never go through it again. There really wasn't no new music that came out though. I already talked about Cole. We got the 2 Kanye songs.
All right. Just making sure we touch on that.
I mean, you talked about the poopity scoopity, right? I like the song because this.
Lift yourself.
When I fell in love with Kanye is when he made all of the beats for Blueprint. Because that sound was like, yo, who is this with all of these samples? That's crazy. Like, this music is crazy. It's a whole complete different sound. So when he get back to chopping up them samples, and I'm all aboard. I didn't like Pablo that much. I feel like it was.
I feel
like it was all over the place.
I think there's a lot of different tracks he could have probably filtered out some. He probably could have did it without. He had some throwaways in there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but
I just felt like it was all over the place. I just didn't know the structure of what was going on.
I strongly believe that this next joint.
He said it's only 7 songs.
That's all you're gonna need.
T.I. said he has some shit that like amazing shit. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. He's a genius. I don't have no problem with that. I do wish that Kanye would just, I feel like if he got that delivery down, delivery and timing.
Well, if you notice, not to reel it back in and go into a whole nother zone.
Come on, man, we gotta end this, man.
But he did say 2020 at first for the election.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's saying 2024. He might be want to polish up a little bit, get some training, he got some years to get ready. If that's what he want to do, can't be no worse than Trump, man.
But that's not the thing. Is that they are already saying who the next president is gonna be? The black woman from over California. They're saying she's running for president next, and she's got a very good chance. I seen her on the Breakfast Club. A lot of stuff she was talking about. Of course, it's politics, and they say a lot of things that they want to fix without fixing it. During the race, but she seems like she got a good head on her shoulders. She's very media trained and upscale, and she went to Howard University, so she's gonna have that. She's gonna get that black vote. But I don't know. If Trump is president, anybody can be president. Trump being in office has officially discredited the presidential office. We now know that the presidential office is a joke. We have to know that now. This man has never held a political office ever. Not state senate, not clerk that takes the money for traffic tickets. He's never been in politics at all, ever. His first political job was president of the United States. And people still put him there. So, all of these, and then another one of the things that could be as well, we still going, but him pushing the date back is also letting those kids that he has influence over get old enough to vote. So, hey, them crazy kids gonna be crazy about the Yeezys. He's the 14, 15.
True.
Letting them get older, be able to vote. But hey, it's all opinions, deeply opinions. So yeah, we're gonna get out of here and plug your shit, man. Everything.
For one, I appreciate the invite. Appreciate you having me. Hopefully, I get welcome back. I am Lord Rico on Instagram, Grandeur Cuisine. For my food, I also design clothing, Grandeur Customs on Instagram. You can find both of those handles in my bio on I am Lord Rico, though. Hit me up. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you need food, if you need clothes, I might be into something else by later on down the line. Who knows? I'm limitless.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna get up out of here. It's your boy
DJ Rose.
and we out.